and we're gonna go. Thank you so much, Alexa, for being here. Can you tell everyone your full name and how do you help clients?
Yeah, so my name is Alexa D'Agostino. I've owned and operated several marketing companies. My last one I sold in 2014, and now I went to go get my PhD to teach. So I'm a professor and I coach and I help business owners and entrepreneurs scale their businesses.
Awesome. Now, what do you love most about Clubhouse?
I love Clubhouse for one reason, and it's to network, right? I have met the most amazing people on this app. It is incredible the caliber of people that I'm meeting, and it also gives me an opportunity to provide value and to help entrepreneurs that I normally wouldn't have access or be able to connect with. So it's an amazing opportunity for all of us. Look, I wouldn't have met you, right?
Very true. Now, I know Clubhouse can be a little addicting. So, how many hours do you spend on the app?
So I would say in the beginning a lot, but I've cut it down. So I actually have what I call Clubhouse hours, where I block off my time so that I'm not spending hours on it. But I would say probably 1 to 2 hours a day max. I used to spend a lot more, but I've really, I'm so busy with my work right now that it's really difficult for me to be on it. And I also don't like to, what they call squatting. So I actually log off when I'm not able to participate so that I'm not just sitting on a stage. Because a lot of people do that. They just sit there and they're not actually there. So.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah, that's very true. So how have you generated leads for your business on Clubhouse?
All right. So this is a good question. So what I do is I just provide value. I'm just myself and I try to help people, provide good feedback, provide good strategies. And so what I do is make sure that my profile is primed and shares who I help, how I help, and my background on why you should listen. And then at the bottom, I say, DM me, Clubhouse, if you want assistance or want free advice. And then when people go to my Instagram, it's very clear what I do, right? So it's there's no confusion in who I help and how I help and what I do. And so I do that through my bio and through my content, and really make sure to provide clarity on exactly how I can help them. And then they all DM me Clubhouse, and then I send them to a Facebook group. And in that Facebook group, I go live often on certain topics, and I assist with whatever they need. So I'll ask questions on what they need assistance with, and then I'll go live in my Facebook group and actually help them with that.
Awesome. Now, have you generated any revenue from being on Clubhouse? Like, have you earned 4 or 5 or 6 figures since you've joined the platform?
Yeah, we're almost at 7 figures just from Clubhouse.
Wow, that's
Yeah, not including other revenue streams. So just from Clubhouse alone, we've done close to 1 million at this point.
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, if a person is just jumping onto Clubhouse, what is your number one tip you can give them to be successful?
Yeah. So the first is make friends, network, right? It's kind of like, think about when you go to a networking group and there's some clicks happening already because these people know each other. Figure out your way to get in, right? And introduce yourself, be friendly, write these people on Instagram or Twitter, and just introduce yourself. Don't ever say, hey, if you bring me up on stage, I have X, Y, and Z. People get really annoyed by that. And just start to build relationships. Sometimes if you're struggling getting up on stage, you can raise your hand and ask the question. And sometimes you can phrase a question in a way that makes you still an expert, but you're asking the question, right? Of, hey, I've built a couple 7-figure businesses and I've transitioned to a new, I want to add a new revenue stream of X, Y, and Z. What do you all think? Would you do that in your businesses since you're, on the same level as me? So you can ask a question in a way that puts you as an authority, but you're still asking for feedback rather than going up on stage and saying, oh, I don't have a question, I just want to provide value, because sometimes the people that are on stage have fought to get up on there, and sometimes when people just raise their hand to just provide value and not ask a question, it doesn't bode well sometimes, right? So Make friends. That's the biggest thing. Start your own rooms. The second thing. Third thing is make sure your bio's prime, make sure your Instagram's prime, and make sure you have a sales funnel. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you need a full landing page sales funnel. What you need is a process, and you need a way to convert and move people through the pipeline. And so that's a really important thing. The last thing I will say is keep your DMs very organized. So if you're not using Business Manager to organize your DMs, you really want to make sure you're tagging people appropriately on who's coming in as leads, who are influencers that you want to build relationships with. I have an entire VA team that helps me to organize them, but also keep up with my influencer friends and also my potential leads, right? So really important.
Excellent. There was something in your bio that really intrigued me. It said that you sold your business when you were in your early 20s to find purpose. And I wanted to ask you, did you find that purpose and what is it?
Yeah. So I started my first business really young. So my family's from Cuba, and when they came to America, they really had no choice but to be entrepreneurs. So I grew up seeing entrepreneurship from both my parents, my grandparents. So at a really young age, I was starting my first business at like 8 years old, selling ice cream. I'd buy like a can of ice cream that's like $2, and then I would split it into 10 different things, selling them each for $1 each, and then making $8 profit at like 8 years old, right? So, and then I would charge more for sprinkles, and like I was that kid. At the book fair, I would buy at like 10, I would buy out all the books of the most popular books and then sell them for more money. Like I used to get in trouble all the time by my teachers. So I always had that spirit. So I started my first business at 18, and it first started as a web design business, helping entrepreneurs create their businesses. And a couple of the, not a couple, quite a few. One, we literally created the brand on a napkin in a diner. It went public. It is worth 350 million now. Another one got bought out by Macy's. It's worth 150 million. Also created the brand in a napkin on a diner. And so worked on a lot of really cool projects. I was a part of 2 applications that I was actually partners in that sold, one to Cantor Fitzgerald, one for AAU with the CIO of Morgan Stanley. So did some really cool projects. But as my name and my company grew, I started picking up bigger clients, Mercedes, American Express, like big projects. And I just didn't love that. I didn't like working for the big companies, and kind of got away from what I was wanting to do. So in 2014, everything happens for a reason, but one of my clients that I was doing business for, they're the largest private advertising agency in the East Coast. I kind of said to them, like, hey, if you're going to keep asking me for free advice, you either have to buy my company or start paying me. And the CEO was like, wow, that's a genius idea. What do you want? Basically handed me a blank check. And I was like, I'm out. I said, this is great. So I was 24 at the time. And to me, it was a lot of money at the time. So I was like, all right, bye, and sold it. And saw it as an opportunity to find my purpose. And for me, it was teaching. So I went to go get my PhD. I love to teach, and it's why I coach, and I'm a professor as well. Got into higher education, which I love. Like I love higher education. And so that I do both of those things now, and it's literally the best thing. So that's my purpose, to really help young adults and entrepreneurs build a foundation. I'm not a coach that teaches a silver bullet. I'm a coach that teaches you the things that you need to know to run a business.
Wow, that's amazing. So where can people find you online, Alexa, if they want to be coached by you?
Sure. So you can go to passion2ceo.com. That's passion2ceo.com, or you can follow me on Instagram. It's marketing by modification.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, and we will see you in Clubhouse.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye-bye.